Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Big Show. This is Investing and Trading Live, episode 763 on the podcast. We have some cheers for that for everybody. Thank you for the applause. But
that's a standing ovation.
It is. Unfortunately, it's just you and me in here today in the studio, but we have a good time.
Let me stand up and clap.
Yeah, there you go.
Now, that was an official standing ovation.
It was. For our YouTube viewers, you got to see that. But thanks for coming on the show again. Once again, Al, my good friend Al Connickson on the show here. How you doing today, Al?
I'm really doing well, Josh. How about you?
I'm doing good, as always. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we have a action-packed show here for you today. Today's Thursday on the podcast, but the show will be played out throughout the week here on the radio waves. And we had a nice gap down on the market. We had some news early in the morning, some unemployment claims and such. So some great movers in the market. We talked about on the show here earlier this week about how it's kind of been a snoozer. It's a short holiday week. But just real quick about our sponsor, Online Trading Academy. 26 years teaching people just like you how to trade and invest in the financial markets, different techniques and strategies on short-term income strategies, but also long-term wealth strategies, which would be your 401k and IRA. Yes, there are ways and strategies to manage those accounts. You do not have to have a stranger do that for you. Take control in what you have in your monies. Take control in your future, but you got to do that now. So just a quick market update. As current on the show here today, market's going to open up right around 439.50 area. That's the S&P 500 ETF. The dollar has been a driver for a lot of this stuff over the past few sessions here. And the U.S. dollar is roughly at about 103.12 at the time of the show here. So we're going to continue to monitor some of these different things here. Some of the things we're going to talk about on the show here today, as I mentioned, income strategies, wealth strategies. We're going to talk about FedEx. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the articles that people are also reading, probably in the second segment, and why people actually follow that stuff without even knowing what's actually happening. But Al, as I mentioned earlier, there's some volatility in the markets here, especially today. This week has been somewhat of a snoozer, but towards the end of the week, seeing some action. What's your take on the markets here this week?
Well, I think what you're seeing now is kind of the normal, or will be the normal for a while anyways. It may not be the new normal, in a couple of years, but right now we have this volatility that is going to continue, and there's a number of reasons that happens. You mentioned that there was some data that came out last Thursday, and that was jobless claims. Jobless claims came in at about 248,000. The estimate was for 245,000. It was a little bit more, but not what the Fed needs to see to feel comfortable as far as being able to either pause rate hikes or to lower them. The economists say that we need about 280,000 on a monthly basis to really have any significant impact.
Yeah, just kind of another stat there, the participation rate. I mean, there's still roughly just over half of the people that actually lost jobs in the pandemic that are back to work, so the participation rate is still low.
Right, and one of the problems there is it's keeping wages high, and employers have to compete with higher wages or benefits to be able to attract people and to keep them. So that's one of the issues that the Fed is dealing with. They've raised interest rates a number of times, hoping that more, I hate to say the word pain, is what they're trying to do, but that's really what they're trying to do, inflict some pain on the economy so we could bring interest rates down. That doesn't seem to be happening. You mentioned, I think, people looking at some news sources.
Yeah.
And that's one of the problems. People try to look at what's happening in the economy, in the world, and then make decisions based on what they think the markets should do. We talk about this all the time. That's really going to get you into trouble. There are news sources that really will cover any opinion that someone has. I mean, you can find things that are positive about the market, negative about the market. And if you choose one of those two, you're always going to find things that will justify your position, and you're going to choose a direction. You're going to be a directional trader, which means you're either going to be on the upside, where the market has to go up to make money, or on the downside, where it has to go down for you to benefit. And the problem is it goes up and down, and we sometimes the same day, certainly the same week, numerous times during the month.
Sounds like without a strategy, that sounds like a gamble to me.
Well, that is, and I'm glad you used that word gamble, because we like to keep things simple, Josh. And there's some words that were actually part of a song called The Gambler.
Okay.
Kenny Rogers sang this song. And for those of you that know the song, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't hear the words I'm talking about.
I thought you were going to say sing along with us.
Well, I thought about doing that, but then I thought, you know what? I hate to see people turn off the radio at the very beginning of the show. But what he said is, this, in the song, you have to know when to hold them, you have to know when to fold them, you have to know when to run or to walk, and know when to run away. That's exactly the same thing in trading and investing. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. In other words, know when to get into something, know when to get out of it. But the great thing about the way we teach our students and the strategy that we use, Josh, it's a timing strategy. And by that, because a lot of people say, well, you can't time the markets. We're not trying to time the markets. We're not trying to predict what the market is going to be in a month or a year or 2 years or 6 months. What we're doing is showing you whether this is the right time to get into something. Is this the right time? And no matter what the asset is, no matter what you're trading, what the company is, it may not be the right time to invest in the best company in the world. But there is a time and a price which will give you the lowest entry with the highest probability of working and the highest profit potential. Those are the three things, the three components of what we call a quality trade.
Yep.
Our core strategy does that. It identifies whether there is a good investment, and that means the right price. Is this the right price to get into something? Because prices, they don't go in a straight line up or down. They go through corrections and what we call an impulse. So there's opportunities there no matter what's happening in the market if you know how to take advantage of them.
I really like that. You brought up some great points here. You said, is this the normal? Is the new normal? Could it be normal differently later on? But that's why you need that timing strategy. So it's kind of like one of those things where you say, what are you doing for me now? Not in the past. And that's why we talked about the news and articles and stuff that comes out. We'll talk more about that in the next segment, about what's happening actually now. So having that timing strategy, which is what we have here at the Academy, is a strategy that's designed to time the markets, but also have low risk, high reward, high probability entry points, so you're no longer gambling in the markets. Now it's a strategy. To see this strategy, we have investing classes to introduce this to you. Some people that come to these classes are brand new to the markets, have never traded before, but are in the markets with 401ks and IRAs, want to have more say with what happens with them. We get a lot of people, I mean, especially now, a lot of people that have been trying to trade and invest and want more consistency that are coming to these classes. So to come into one of these classes, just text the word investing to the number 210-210. And this is for 2 seats, one for you and one for a friend. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 for a free investing class local here at the Academy. Coming up next, we're going to talk about FedEx, Bed Bath & Beyond, you know, that good old stock that not doing so hot. Coming up next, so stay tuned. This is Josh and Al investing and trading live. We will be right back.